Okay. So if you can open this, it should be on your WhatsApp chat and or the shared folder where you're accessing things. If you can open this, okay, you don't have to open it, you can follow on screen actually, it's fine. You don't have to open it. But you might need to open it soon. Anyway, so what I thought about doing for the rest of this year is that I'm not going to give you more theory. I mean, I could give you more Nahu and more Sarf and more theory, but what I'm rather going to focus on is I'm going to focus on taking what you've learned so far and applying that to the Quran. So Tawheed was mistakenly sent to you. Why is that? Is looking daunting. So so uh, this was sent to you, Surah Baqarah, assignment one. I actually did it yesterday. What I find with students generally is that when we teach the concepts in isolation, we teach mudaf, mudaf ilayh, we teach mubtada khabar, we teach fa'il, maf'ulun bihi, sifa mawsuf. In isolation, students are able to manage. But I think when students get to the Quran, all the text, all the words overwhelm students, and they're not able to kind of decipher what's happening in the text. So what I thought is for the rest of the year, it's not unless it's 6 or 7 lessons, is that we focus on taking examples from the Quran and then you applying your own learning to 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 the Quranic words. So I thought I start with Surah Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim. Why? Because uh, one of the recommendations that a person recites daily is that you recite the beginning of Surah Baqarah and Ayatul Kursi and the last, I think, two verses of Surah Baqarah as well. What we can call the voorwerk. The voorwerk is actually from Hadith also. It's part of the Sunnah is to recite this for protection as well. So I thought it was a good place to start. So most of you would know Alif Lam Mim, Dhalika al-Kitabu. Oh, I think there's a word missing here. There's a Dhalika missing here.
It's at the end of that sentence, Maulana.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. I see. Okay, so maybe I should sort it out quickly. The Dhalika, so just we'll send you a new copy, inshallah. But the Dhalika here obviously begins at the beginning. Let me just check what this thing is happening with this. Okay, okay. So let me just save it again for you, and we'll send you a new copy now, inshallah. Let's put here. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, inshallah, is that we're going to go through the questions now, and then I'm going to give you some group work, and then we'll go through the answers next week, inshallah. It's going to be challenging, so I have to warn you from the beginning. This is going to be challenging. If you find it difficult, it's supposed to be difficult. Um, uh, but the good thing is, as you get used to it, it becomes easier. So the verse begins, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم. And it's not I'm not going to teach Quran now. I'm just going to translate for you. I'm not going to give tafsir or any of those things. Just translation. Alif Lam Mim. Those are the huruf muqatta'at. Uh, and no one really knows its true meaning besides Allah Ta'ala. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ ذَلِكَ means that. Al-Kitab means the book. La Rayba. And the translation I gave you here is my own translation. It's a very, let's say, literal translation. It doesn't necessarily flow very well in English, but it's literal in terms of it tries to mirror the sequence and the constructions in the Arabic directly. So ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, the way I translated it there might be different from other translations, and there are reasons for that, but it's just in accordance with the way we've learned it. So ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, so there's not a tafsir lesson, it's a lesson on Arabic. So if you want to learn the surah, we'll have a separate tafsir on the surah and why dhalika means this or means that. Actually, dhalika, let's make dhalika that rather. Let's make it that rather. And again, I'm just saying that these are the literal words. It's not tafsir, or it's not supposed to be uh, a translation of the Quran. It's supposed to be a literal rendering of the words. Maybe now. So let me just do it again. Okay. Okay, so go. ذلك الكتاب, that book, لا ريب فيه, لا ريب, there is no doubt فيه, in it. Hudan, a guidance, للمتقين, for the muttaqin, the people of taqwa, those who are conscious of Allah Ta'ala, and all other meanings that go with muttaqin. Then I ask you a number of questions about it. So question one I ask you is identify the mubtada, the ismul ishara, two harful jars and two ismul majroors in ayah 1. So what you have to do is you have to write it above the relevant word in ayah 1. In other words, wherever the mubtada is, you write mubtada. Wherever the ismul ishara, you write it above the above the word. Question number 2. I didn't number it, but anyway, the second question here is when you find the mubtada, what is the news of the mubtada? What in news means khabar. What is the news? But write the news here in English. Write the news here in English. What is the news about the mubtada? So that's verse number 1. Then verse number 2. Alladhina, those who yu'minuna. Yu'minuna. Many of these are verbs that you haven't done. You've done other verbs with the ya. Like fa'ala, yaf'alu, fataha, yaftahu. You also get verbs that begin with you. We haven't done them yet, but don't worry about it. Just know that these are also verbs. Alladhina, those who yu'minuna, they believe bil ghaybi, in the unseen, wa, and yuqimuna, also a type of verb starting with a ya, and they establish as-salah, pray, wa mimma, and from that which razaqnahum, we have provided for them, yunfiqun, they spend. So question for verse 2 is identify each word alladina yu'minuna bi ghaib wa yuqimuna as-salah wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. Each word identify whether it's a ism, fi'l or harf. So just above each word you can just write uh, uh, a letter I for ism, F for fi'l and H for harf. Then question 2, who is alladina referring to in terms of who's the referring to in the verse? How many actions are attributed to alladina? And then identify the fa'il for each verb. In other words, you would have identified where the verbs, identify where the fa'il is. So above each fa'il, write a fa or fa'il above each fa. And then what are the grammar labels for the underlined words? So I've underlined bil ghaibi, salata, mimma, hum. What are the grammar labels? Grammar labels means fa'il, maf'ul, and so on. Next verse. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. أولئك, those, على, are upon hudan, guidance, من ربهم, from their Lord, wa, and أولئك, those whom they are المفلحون, the successful. So question number 3, what type of word is أولئك? We've done different types of words. We've done ismu mawsul, ismu ishara, damir, many things. What type of word is أولئك? What type of word is hum? What would you insert? Where would you insert the is or are in the sentence? So after which word would you insert is or are in the sentence? And the last question here is what are the grammar labels for the underlined words? Ulaika ala hudan min rabbihim ulaika. What are the grammar labels for those words? And finally, we have a translation challenge. In other words, you have to open a mushaf, a copy of the Quran, and be able to translate these 1, 2, 3, 4 verses. Obviously, the first verse doesn't count, so just 3 verses. The 3 verses here directly from the Arabic language without any translation. You must say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, that book, there's no doubt. From the Arabic, you must do it directly. Good. So that's going to be your assignment for next week, inshallah. Any questions about it? Challenge accept. I'm going to ask you, I would actually like you to submit this actually. Okay, I'd like you to submit the answers to us. So take a photo and send it to the admin number. Or Nasreen can, yeah, I think that'd be probably easiest. Take a photo, send to the admin number. Father Mudir said you must take a whole week of leave for this. No, do what you can, inshallah. Do what you can, inshallah. But it's going to be a good exercise for you. And if you struggle, it's fine. You're supposed to struggle. It's just that when you struggle and then you hear the answer, and then it's going to unlock something for you, because the Quran is very patterned. So when you unlock something, it's gonna when you do something, it's gonna unlock a pattern to you that you're going to start. Okay, this is how the Quran works. Okay, okay, uh, okay. So what we can do, inshallah, is that okay. What I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'll make it easy for you. What I'm gonna say is, those of you who want to submit next week, you can submit next week. And those of you who want to submit after we go through the answers, you can do that. It's the opening assignment. So it's not like you're not going to get like a report or something. I'm just saying some sort of accountability. Those who want to submit next week can do it next week. And those who want to do it after we go through the answers, in other words, next week we'll go through the answers, inshallah, you can do it after that as well. Obviously, those who submit before is like entering Islam before Fathul Makkah and entering Islam after Fathul Makkah. But it's up to you, inshallah. Are you from the early Sahaba or from the late Sahaba? You can decide, inshallah. Okay. So what we're going to do now, any other questions on this? It's not a test or anything. I just relax, just chill out, relax. It's just an exercise. It's like a normal exercise for you to do for homework, inshallah. But it's going to be challenging. Any other questions, or you good to go? You get the prize. Yeah, I think we must organize some prizes, inshallah. Um, okay, just with regard to next year. So we got the results of the survey back, alhamdulillah, and it appears that only like a third of students actually want to return to class this year. Most are either wanting to return in January or not just comfortable at this stage. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to just keep the classes online for now, and we'll probably have like an end of year gathering in the mosque for those who want to come and be part of the gathering. Obviously, we'll broadcast the gathering for those who want to see online. But I think for now is that we'll keep the classes online. I'm not sure the term end, but normally we run until uh, the first week in December. Normally, we normally end the first Sunday of December, but I'll confirm the exact term end, inshallah. But normally we end November, and that last lesson is like a end of term lesson where dhikr and nasiha and so on. So we end in November, inshallah. Will be so it's only like about 6 weeks left. So I think we'll keep it online for now. It's going to be more convenient, and then we'll aim to go back if everything's well with the COVID situation. Then we'll aim to go back to class in January, inshallah. Then in terms of going to second year next year, there's no pass or fail. I generally advise that if you've sort of been in class for most of this year and you sort of kept up to date with the work, is move to second year. Obviously, you don't all know everything. That's normal. You have gaps and you're not sure about a few things. That's normal. But my advice generally is don't repeat first year unless you completely lost. That's different. But if you know what the fa'il is, you know what the maf'ul bihi is, and if you know what fa'ala yaf'alu means, and you know the basics, then carry on, inshallah. We also revise things over and over for you to consolidate. So my advice is that you basically decide which year you want to go to, but my advice is carry on into second year. If you've been kind of just in touch, even if you missed a few things, it's fine, inshallah. You can catch it up again, but don't repeat the whole year. It's like tedious to do the same thing every time. I'd rather keep moving with the course, inshallah. Okay. So, Bismillah. So, what I'm doing now is I'm going to put you into groups, and then for about 15 minutes, you're going to start with this work. And then when we come back, we'll do the nasiha, but we'll mark this next week, inshallah. So, have fun with this, enjoy it. It's challenging, and use whatever resources you want, but use your mind and your textbook and your notes the most, inshallah. Barakallah. Nasreen, you can put them into the groups, inshallah.